If you live with chronic pain, insomnia can feel like this cruel extra punishment. But pretty soon, it stops feeling like an add on and starts feeling like the main engine that's keeping everything loud and difficult. So today, we're going to change that. We're going to turn that feeling of being just exhausted and hurting into a real evidence based plan. Let's get right into it. This right here, this is a moment so many people know all too well. It's that feeling of trying to do everything perfectly. Staying still, not provoking the pain, only to have your own brain just betray you with this highlight reel of all your worst anxieties. You're not trying to be dramatic. It's just what happens. So yeah, if that hits a little too close to home, then you are absolutely in the right place. We're done just talking about the problem. It's time to build the solution. This explainer is all about giving you a concrete strategy to finally break that cycle. Okay, so first things first, let's really understand the enemy here, because it's not just the pain and it's not just the insomnia. It's the loop. It's this vicious cycle where each one just feeds the other. And this isn't about it being all in your head, not at all. This is about how our nervous systems learn things, and sometimes, well, they get a little too good at protecting us. What's so wild about this cycle is that every single step feels completely logical while you're in it, right? At night, the pain flares. It keeps you alert. You watch the clock. So the next morning, you feel wrecked. You cancel stuff. And then the next night, you think, okay, I'll go to bed early to catch up. But that just gives you more hours to lie in bed awake, frustrated. It's a trap that builds itself. So this is the absolute key takeaway. That extra time you give yourself in bed to recover, it almost always backfires. It actually weakens your natural sleep drive. And worse, it teaches your brain that bed is the place for worrying, for planning, for being awake. And that right there is the exact problem that cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBT-I, is built to fix. Okay, let's be super, super clear about what we're talking about here. CBT-I is not just another list of tips like don't drink coffee at night. It is a structured, skills-based program that literally retrains your brain and your body for sleep. It's active, not passive. And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. Real CBT-I is a data-driven process. You track your sleep in a diary. A clinician helps you set a very specific, personalized sleep window. You work to reassociate your bed with only sleep, and you do the cognitive work on those thoughts that keep the engine running. It is not a generic handout, a calming app, or some course that gives you the same advice no matter what. Honestly, if you remember just one thing when you're looking for help, please let it be this. That sleep diary, it isn't just busy work. It is the engine of the entire therapy. It's what provides the data to actually adjust your plan week by week. So if there's no diary, it's almost certainly not real CBT-I. So how does filling out a diary actually lead to better sleep? Well, it all comes down to tracking one key metric, a number that tells a clinician everything they need to know about how solid or how fragmented your sleep really is. And it's called sleep efficiency. All this is a percentage. It's the amount of time you're actually asleep divided by the total time you spend in bed. So think about it. Are you spending 8 hours in bed, but only sleeping for 5 of them? Well, that's a low sleep efficiency, and it's a huge red flag that your time in bed is way too long for your current sleep ability. A common goal in CBT-I is to get your sleep efficiency to about 85% or higher. Hitting that number means you're spending the vast majority of your time in bed actually sleeping. It's a sign that your sleep is getting more solid, less broken up, which is exactly what we're aiming for. Okay, I can practically hear what you're thinking right now. A rigid schedule? Seriously? How is that supposed to work when my pain is completely unpredictable? And you know what? That is a totally fair question. A good CBT-I clinician knows that the rules have to be flexible enough for real life. Let's look at a quick story. There was one person who called her worst pain day of the week the Tuesday night experiment. Every single Tuesday after a really rough day, she'd force herself to go to bed super early to try and bank some sleep. And every single week, it failed. She would just lie there, wide awake with her pain. So here's the shift, and this is so important. Her CBT-I clinician didn't try to solve her pain. They didn't argue with her pain at all. They argued with the clock. They actually made her sleep window a little shorter to build up that sleep drive. And they gave her one simple rule. If you're awake for what feels like too long, you have to get out of bed, do something boring, and only come back when you feel sleepy again. And the result? Well, it wasn't a miracle cure for her pain, But after a few weeks, her terrible Tuesday nights weren't a catastrophe anymore. She had a plan. She stopped using her bed as a battleground to fight pain and started using it just for sleeping. That mental shift, that's everything. Oh, this slide is so important because these are the things we all do, the things that feel so logical when we're exhausted, but they can unintentionally sabotage our progress. We stay in bed longer to recover. We turn our bed into mission control for working, scrolling, worrying. And this last one is huge. We quit the minute a pain flare hits, thinking the plan failed, when really that's the exact moment you're supposed to adjust the plan, not abandon it. All right, enough theory. Let's get practical. How do you find real, legitimate CBT-I and avoid all the wellness fluff out there? Here is a plan you can literally do in the next 15 minutes. These 3 questions right here, they are your filter. They are simple, they're direct, and they will tell you immediately if you're talking to someone who actually practices real, data-driven CBT-I. A good provider won't just say yes. They'll have clear, thoughtful answers for every single one. Now for the practical part. Money and time. Based on recent data, this is a realistic look at what you can expect in the US. Look, the goal here isn't to scare you off. It's to prepare you. Knowing these numbers helps you plan, helps you ask the right questions about insurance, and maybe decide if a telehealth option could get you seen sooner. And to make this as easy as humanly possible, here you go. This is the exact script you can use. You can literally copy this, paste it into an email, and send it right now. It asks all the key questions, it shows you're an informed patient, and it gets you exactly the information you need to make a decision. No more getting stuck. Just send the email. I really want to leave you with this final thought because it reframes the whole goal. This isn't about trying to win sleep each night. That's an exhausting battle you can't really win. It's about methodically building it, building a more reliable, more resilient foundation for sleep one night at a time, even when pain is still part of your story.